So, hey guys, this is Seb here. I'm gonna do a review for Terminator Genisys. This movie's really good. This movie is really good. I really like the movie, and honestly, the critics totally got this movie wrong because this is definitely not the worst movie of the year. It, it just the fact that Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 25% is criminal. It's so criminal because this is the third best Terminator movie made. This is definitely better than T3 and Salvation by a long shot, but it still doesn't reach, the original two Terminators. But yeah, this movie it's pretty awesome actually. There's some great action sequences. There's some brand new Terminators in this movie, and I gotta say, 2015 really seems to be the year of strong female leads because holy crap, the Sarah Connor kicks some major ass in this movie, and that's pretty awesome. So anyway, I'm just gonna tell you the plot of Terminator Genisys. Sorry, something on my camera. Um, I'm gonna just tell you the quick plot for Terminator Genisys, and I'm including stuff you've seen in the trailers. So if you can consider the trailers any spoilers, I'm getting a slight spoiler warning already. So anything that's been in the trailers, I'm going to talk about in this, regardless if what you think they did in the trailers gave too much. If it was in the trailer, I'm going to talk about it. So basically, the movie opens in 2029, and humans are fighting the Terminators, and thank God they're using the original purple lasers, which is awesome. So John Connor organizes two assaults, one in Colorado and one, I believe, is in San Francisco. The one in Colorado is to shut down the Skynet hub in, I don't know if it's the world or the area, and the one that they're doing in San Francisco, which is where I assume they were, or Los Angeles, I can't remember, is to find a hidden device in the base, a time travel device. So, they go off and do that. And basically, if you know the lore from the first Terminator film, they show the original T-800 gets sent to 1984, and then Kyle Reese also gets sent back to 1984. Except, this is where things change. A certain event happens when Kyle Reese is in the time machine device, which actually completely alters the entire Terminator timeline, which is really cool. So basically, Kyle Reese ends up in 1984, except first of all, he doesn't find the Sarah Connor that we saw in the actual 1984 film. We see this badass chick. So he's really confused because obviously John Connor has told him exactly what his mother was like and what her history was. So things obviously changed for some weird reason. So they get in a fight with T-1000. Sadly, not Robert Patrick. It was actually the guy who played Storm Shadow in the G.I. Joe movies. And they get chased, and they get to a secret base in which they need to stop Judgment Day from happening, so they need to actually go into the future. So Kyle and Sarah talk about exactly where they need to go. And Sarah wants to go to one place, Kyle wants to go to another place in time, except Kyle starts having memories of a timeline that he doesn't necessarily remember. He's having these visions of the past / future, but that he doesn't understand. So they end up going to the future, where they actually get taken in by police, because obviously it's two naked strangers on the road doing nothing. So they get taken in by the police, and I'm trying to think without actually giving spoilers away. Anyway, this was in the trailer, but they actually see John Connor, and as the trailer showed, and as I said, if any point you want to stop watching until you've seen the movie, because this isn't a full spoiler, this is just stuff I saw in the trailer, so if you don't want to know anything about the film, just stop watching now. As I said, slight spoilers, but they realize that John Connor has actually become um, a human Terminator hybrid, so he's the most powerful Terminator ever created, because what they did is they actually they changed his entire cell structure at a molecular level. So imagine, you see my hands here. So every bone and fiber is now like a nano machine type thing. So he has the brain of a human, but the super strength of a Terminator. So he's the strongest yet. And of course, basically, then good old Arnie and Sarah and Kyle have to stop Judgment Day from happening, and this is where I'm gonna actually kind of stop talking about what it's about, because I actually want to get into more details later about the stuff that happens, because it's actually pretty cool, and this is what I liked. So first of all, okay, yeah, it's not gonna be as good as the first or second. Okay, let's get that out of the way, because if everyone keeps harkening to the fact that it's not as good as the first or the second, you're not going to get anywhere. So no, it's not as good as the first or second, but is it as bad as T3 or T4? Hell no, absolutely not. T3 was just stupid, and T4 didn't really, I don't know, it was Terminator lore, but it was just like, wasn't the it was just lame. And the really cool thing about this one is, first of all, we're dealing with different timelines, which is awesome, but we're also in two different time periods. We're in 1984 and 2017, which I think is really awesome. I really enjoyed that, and the fact that we get to see multiple Terminators, new Terminators, old Terminators, is really cool. Not only in the future or in 2029, but in in the current story of the movie, and I really like that. They had some awesome action set pieces, and you know what? The writing for the movie was pretty good. They actually tried to make a good story. There was a good cast, and people actually gave sincere performances. So I thought that was pretty awesome. And it's absolutely criminal that it's getting torn a new asshole for no reason. It's the amount of hate it's getting is so unjustified. People are so blinded by the fact that, yeah, we're getting a new Terminator movie and it's rebooting the franchise, is really like it's blocking people's head from actually enjoying and seeing what the movie is. And the fact that there are actually quite a few questions that are left unanswered, and they make you think like, what's going on. You can tell that there's a bigger story here, and I really hope they do sequel, because even at the end of the film, and there is a post credits, by the way, which I will talk about in the spoiler, there's stuff there. I mean, there are questions unanswered. This was just a stepping stone. They stopped Judgment Day from happening at the moment, but there's still a lot of mystery puzzles going on there, and I think that's awesome. It was so awesome seeing Arnie come back. As let's see, I'm trying to think. We've seen like I want to say three different versions of Arnie's Terminator. I've seen his Terminator 1 Terminator, which is including the Arnie Terminator from Terminator Salvation and from the beginning of Terminator Genisys, because that's technically still Terminator 1 Arnie. So we have just this monotone killer who wants to kill Sarah Connor. Then you have Terminator 2, Terminator 2 Arnie, who really gets to learn about what being human is, which is amazing. Then you have Terminator Genisys Arnie, who really becomes a father figure, which is really cool. He's quite literally a father figure to Sarah, and I think that's really nice to see. There's a different dynamic, you know. Um, Even though Terminator still, you know, he's under orders from a mysterious person to protect Sarah, no matter what. And for him, he doesn't, as I said, he doesn't really understand emotions. He cares for her like a father. That includes in tender moments, as well as the bickering that any person would have with a parent. And I think that's really cool. And you know, seeing finally a different side to John Connor is so cool. You know, um, and as I said, this isn't a spoiler unless you call trailer spoilers, which they kind of are a little bit. But we get to see a bad guy John Connor, which is awesome. We get to see an Emilia Clarke, Sarah Connor, who's the badass of the movie. You know, for a lot of parts, she's actually the one who's saving Kyle Reese. She's not just a damsel in distress. And even Jai Courtney, who pretty much ruins every movie he's in, he's not terrible in this movie. He's actually pretty good. So, you know, I think that's really cool. Let's see. As I said, Jason Clarke as John Connor, awesome. As I said, it was a brand new side of John Connor, which we've never seen before. And yeah, just overall, there were just a lot of things to enjoy about this movie. Um, Obviously, I would say the plot gets a little bit complicated because you're really dealing with a lot of components there. So I could see how that would turn people off. But I'm really trying to think why it's actually being hated on so much. People were already going into the movie with a negative view of the movie, and of course, if you see that anything you dislike, you're gonna hate more. So I'd honestly say give this movie a chance, fellas and gals, because this is a pretty awesome movie, and it's a damn good Terminator movie. So, um, yeah, that was my review for Terminator Genisys. I'm going to do a spoiler review where I'm actually going to talk about some of the plot points in the movie, some of the mysteries, and about what this timeline is we're in now. So I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. Go see this movie. Even if it's only once, go see it, because it's actually pretty awesome. And I thought I was going to hate it. I thought I was going to hate it, and I really liked it. So, yeah, anything can happen. But anyway, this is Seb for Universal Blue Tubers, and look out for my spoiler review coming up next. See you guys.